they are doing well in their various homes as of now. But the people, though they sustained injuries, they fear that should they come out again, something may trigger or cause them another injury. And so they are seeking refuge in their various homes as of now.
All right, thank you very much. That was correspondent for the Upper East region, Peter Agengre, with the report or updates on the Boku shooting. So we move to the Ashanti region, and at the Sustainable Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining Awareness Day in Kumasi, the call was for the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners and the Minerals Commission to take up the challenge of reclaiming water bodies affected by illegal mining. It is a day that affords stakeholders in the artisanal small-scale mining sector the opportunity to interact and plan towards achieving the socio-economic potentials of the industry without compromising the quality of the environment.
The small-scale mining sector employs about 1 million people directly and positively affects the lives of about 20% of Ghana's population. In the last 5 years, it has been challenging for the artisanal and small-scale mining sector due to many reasons, among which destruction of the environment is a main problem, with some irresponsible small-scale and artisanal miners polluting almost all the rivers in the country by washing tailings directly in the rivers. The University of Mines and Technology, in collaboration with the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners in 2021, launched the Sustainable Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining Awareness Day, to be held annually on the 2nd of June as a wake-up call to protect the environment. The theme for this year's celebration, held in Kumasi, was ensuring responsive and sustainable small mining sector in Ghana, our shared responsibility. The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Mines and Technology, Professor Richard Amankwa, called on the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners and the Minerals Commission to take up the challenge to water bodies affected by illegal mining, suggesting the Pra and Birim rivers for a start.
Uba school where you are setting up baby a friend small scale mining hub. A bio yeah research in Kitibi, especially water issues. Na yeah information no bakwa miye say in Sia asaying in an yakasi betia yebetini at. Na me pese me throw challenge baako say ene 2nd June 2022. Between now and 2nd June 2023, mume nyina yen kan ya ho odin mo small scale mining UMAT Minerals Commission na yen choose nsuo mienu ne ntie ani me suggest pra na ma suggest birim yen ti san nsuo mienu nani.
The National Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners, Mr. Godwin Ama, said government's intervention using the military to curb the illegal mining activities in the past 3 decades has not achieved any substantial result.
33 years of destruction of our equipments. DNA distance so the banner the bia soldier for chasing I see a cassatre near Chase, see any year,
The director in charge of small-scale and industrial minerals at the Minerals Commission, Mr. Nelson Ahedo, advocated the need for responsible small-scale mining.
The government statistician, Professor Samuel Kobnenim, has denied having said government workers are overpaid. He was recently reported to have mentioned at an inaugural lecture in Cape Coast that public sector workers are overpaid compared to their output. This information elicited a backlash from many public sector employees. The government statistician, who appeared on GTV Breakfast this morning, said his words were misinterpreted by the media.
I don't agree at all. As I said, because once you say that, then you generalize. So you are missing the bit of inequality.
What kind of response have you received from this story?
It's been mixed in the sense that even colleagues needed some education to understand. The good thing is that those who sat through the lecture were really surprised that such a caption has been given to the lecture, because they heard me speak and they knew all the issues that I raised, especially from the informal, formal, inequality to productivity. So most of the people who sat in the lecture that I've contacted since this caption are pretty surprised. But those who did not read, which again is unfortunate, we got a number of people contacting me simply based on the caption of Daily Graphic. And even after explaining it, people who read it are simply arguing that once I say variation, it means their their output does not commensurate the earnings. Then I tell them, go back to the first issue that I raised. The first issue is about distributional problems. So if you take the productivity conversation in isolation, then you'll be drawing that conclusion.
5 cases of monkeypox have been confirmed in the country. The cases were recorded in Greater Accra, Eastern and Western regions. No death has been recorded. Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kuma Abwaji, who disclosed this at a media briefing in Accra, said there is no treatment for the disease and urged the public to be cautious.
Diseases are transmitted from animals into man. It's very endemic in Nigeria and Cameroon, but it's generally in West Africa, but it's more prevalent in Cameroon and Nigeria. Like I said, from infected animals, squirrels, rats, dummies, monkeys, etc., then they infect humans. The human-to-human transmission can also occur, but it has to be very close skin-to-skin contact, face-to-face contact, or mouth-to-skin contact. These are the areas, that's how you can transmit from human to human. It has one case, let me see, go back. You can also be spread through touching of bedding, towels, clothing of the person. And I believe that earlier, the last 2 weeks ago, we sent an update on the things to look out for. So far, since the outbreak in Europe occurred, we've tested 12 suspected cases in Ghana since 24th of May. Currently, we have confirmed 5 cases in 3 regions, Eastern, Western, and Greater Accra. This is where we've found the 5 cases. No deaths has occurred among the cases. One of the cases has been recorded in a Ghanaian who traveled to the United States from Ghana. So I picked it from here. It shows as fever, some swellings in the armpits and groin with the lymph nodes. We have headaches, muscle aches, and general body aches. That's how we went. And then, of course, then the rash and the blisters. That's how monkeypox is. That doesn't mean that every rash is monkeypox. There's clearly no treatment for monkeypox. Fortunately, it's a mild to moderate case, and so, especially the West African one, is mild to moderate. So we only treat at the symptoms. If you have fever, we give you something to bring your temperature down.
The Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Abwaji, also disclosed that Accra currently has more than 400 active cases of the coronavirus. However, none of the recent cases is in critical condition and no death has been recorded since early March. The number of COVID-19 cases reduced drastically but have been rising steadily in the past few weeks. The Director General of the Ghana Health Service encouraged Ghanaians to get vaccinated, reiterating that the drive for vaccination in the country is on the low.
Generally, we have seen a rise in the cases over the past few weeks. Currently, we have about 400 active cases. If you look at a situation where we had probably less than 20 at the stage in the last few weeks, that is an increase. But this is largely an Accra phenomenon. I would even say it's Greater Accra. It's an Accra surge, mainly, not Greater Accra. And we explain all that to you. The sporadic outbreaks are related to events including schools, outbreaks, and work-related outbreaks. So it's in the schools and mainly in the workplace. Of course, we all close from work and go home. We all close from school and go home. And so now it goes into the community. We are seeing very low positivity at the airport lately. And the Omicron virus variant remains the most dominant still. And then currently the uptake of vaccination has also significantly come down. And I think it's an important wake-up call. Generally, we have recorded about 162,000 cases. We have done more than 2.4 plus million tests. About 160 of the 162,000 have recovered. Unfortunately, we've lost about 1,445 cases, and we have not lost any person to COVID since early March. The active cases as at the 6th of June is 452. So you can see that the real hike, it drops and it goes up based on the number of cases that is coming in. Currently, there's no severe or critical case, and we are very thankful for that. All regions have centralized sites in the country to be able to test for influenza AH3. This Sentinel provides opportunity for circulating viruses causing the population to be identified, so we are able to detect it quickly. And then we test them in clusters of people who have respiratory illness. Recently there was an outbreak of respiratory disease in one of the schools. We picked samples, not everybody samples, and we were able to identify that we have the H3N2 in the school, and so we need to set up system to prevent further outbreak.
The Muslim Health Workers Association of Ghana has screened residents of Akwetia Line and Tafo Zango in the Greater Kumasi area of the Ashanti region for various ailments. The event was funded by the Alhaji Yusuf Ibrahim Foundation as an advocacy for adults to avail themselves of annual health checks.
A team of doctors and healthcare practitioners from the Komfo-Anokye Teaching and KNUST hospitals diagnosed and provided medication for ailments such as hepatitis B, sexually transmitted infections, malaria, hypertension and worm infestation. Those whose cases were found to be serious were referred to the hospital for further examination and treatment. Medicine worth 20,000 cedis was given to those who needed treatment free of charge, in addition to counseling of healthy lifestyles. A resident of Akwetia Line, Ismail, who benefited from the screening, was grateful to the Muslim Health Workers Association of Ghana for conducting the exercise. The Women's Commissioner for Muslim Health Workers Association of Ghana, Hajia Ajaratu Lampinle, who is also a principal health tutor at the Kumasi Nursing and Midwifery Training School, said the population must remain healthy to improve on productivity and nation building. She encouraged Ghanaians to make regular medical checkups an obligation.
Some people also didn't know their status, their HIV status. Alhamdulillah, we are able to detect some of the cases, new cases they never knew. So we've been able to tell them, counsel them. They went through pre-counseling session, and then we also directed them to the appropriate quarters.
Still watching News Hour live on GBC News and GTV. We're taking a short break. We'll be back with the business segments. Please.
Good afternoon, welcome. Time now for the business segment, and I am Dorothy Ajamai. Prices that consumers pay for everyday items rose to the highest level in more than 18 years as food and transport costs continue to surge. Annual inflation jumped 27.6% in May from 23.6% in April, the biggest jump since January 2004. The inflation rate is more than double the Bank of Ghana's target rate of 8 to 10%. Anyone who has taken a loan from commercial banks or any other financial institution to be asked to pay interest on penal charges on loans they have defaulted, says the head of financial stability at the Bank of Ghana, Mr. Augustine Donko. And to the central bank, the way out is to sensitize the public about their rights in patronizing financial products, and the latest institution to get on board the financial literacy train is Ghana Immigration Service here in Accra.
There is also a fee that you have abolished, and it has to do with interest on penal charges when it comes to loans. So a customer takes a loan, there's a schedule for repayment. The agreement says that, or the terms and conditions of the loan says that, if you fail to make payment on a scheduled date, let's say a penal charge of maybe 2%. So for this particular month, a customer is unable to pay their loan, and so the penal charge will be slapped. Okay. First of all, we are saying that the penal charge should be slapped not on the total or the principal amount of the loan. Okay, it has to be with respect to just the amount that is in default. Okay, but the most serious aspect is where the borrower is unable to pay the penal charge also. Okay, so we begin from the point where the loan is due for payment today. Customer is unable to pay, for which reason the lender slaps him with a penal charge. Now, unfortunately, the customer is unable to pay the penal charge also. At the end of the month, interest is applied on this penal charge, and we are saying this is too much. This is unfair. I mean, the loan itself I was not able to pay. The penal charge you impose, I have not been able to pay, and you are bringing in more charges. So we are saying that no, it is not appropriate to levy interest on the penal charge. And the other aspect is when this interest is applied on the penal charge at the end of the month or the period, when the outstanding balance is being calculated, that interest is factored in, and we feel this is an artificial way of.
You're still watching the business segment of News Hour. It is over 1 month now since the e-levy implementation took off. However, to ensure that all Ghanaians are well versed with the process, the Ghana Revenue Authority (GRA) has met with some taxpayers in a sensitization forum.
The electronic transfer levy, the e-levy, which took effect on the 1st of May this year, has been met with mixed reactions as many are yet to understand its operations. The GRA has therefore met taxpayers on what the electronic levy is meant for, how it is charged, which entity charges it, and what falls outside the scope of the e-levy. The head of the project management unit and a member of the e-levy team, Mr. Isaac Amwako, explained some modalities of the e-levy.
But if it is a corporate to corporate payment, the e-levy doesn't apply. So if the government decides to pay you by transferring from their bank account to your bank account, no e-levy. Even if you do the same thing, no e-levy. But if government decides to pay you to your Momo wallet and transfer from its bank account, as for GRE, will take the money from government. It is taxable. That type of transfer is taxable if he pays to your Momo wallet. But if he pays you to your bank account from his bank account, it doesn't apply. And then if he pays you by check, it also doesn't apply.
E-levy is to regulate and impose an electronic transfer levy of 1.5% on all monies which are electronically transferred. This e-levy forms part of efforts by government to broaden its tax base and subsequently increase revenue mobilization.
The African Securities Exchanges Association has admitted the Botswana Stock Exchange and the Ghana Stock Exchange to the African Exchanges Linkage Project. The admission was formalized at a steering committee meeting held on the sidelines on the 10th edition of Building African Financial Markets Conference held in Cameroon.
The African Securities Exchanges Association is seeking to increase participation in the Africa capital market integration process. The admission of the 2 stock exchanges now brings to 9 the number of exchanges under the association. The African continent is on a path of facilitating cross-border securities trading and movement of capital. The project has been built around selected securities exchanges that have gone through market preparation conducted by the African Securities Exchanges Association. The original exchanges participating in phase 1 of the project are the Casablanca Stock Exchange, the Egyptian Exchange, Johannesburg Stock Exchange, Nairobi Securities Exchange, the Nigeria Exchange, and the Stock Exchange of Mauritius. The project is aimed at boosting Pan-African investment flows through the creation of linked exchanges. Both exchanges have demonstrated increased efforts in promoting cross-border trading within their markets and regions. The Botswana Stock Exchange, for instance, has in recent years revised its listing requirements in order to boost regional cross-listings within the Southern African Development Community. The Ghana Stock Exchange, on the other hand, has also taken part in capital market integration initiatives as a key driver of the West African Capital Market Integration, WACMI.
And that's it for the business segments. The news continues after this break. Please do stay.